Hello everyone, and welcome back to another riveting deep dive from the team here at Day's Drama Digest, your ultimate source for all things dramatic, scandalous, and utterly addictive in the world of daytime television. We're the passionate crew behind the TV channel that's dedicated to dissecting every twist, turn, and tear-jerking moment from days of our lives. If you're a die-hard fan like us, you know that Salem is never short on secrets, betrayals, and resurrections that keep us glued to our screens. Today, we're diving headfirst into one of the most tantalizing mysteries that's been bubbling under the surface for months: the enigmatic fate of Stefan DiMera and the potentially explosive lies of his mother, Vivian Alamain. Could Vivian be spinning a web of deceit? Is Stefan truly gone, or is he poised for a dramatic return that could upend everything in Salem? Buckle up, dear viewers, as we explore whether this storyline is about to erupt in the iconic soap opera days of our lives. We'll unpack the clues, speculate wildly but logically, and invite you to join the conversation. Let's get into it. To set the stage properly, we need to rewind a bit and revisit the chaotic events that led us to this point. Days of Our Lives has always been a masterclass in high-stakes drama, where no character is ever truly safe from the clutches of fate or the writer's penchant for resurrection plots. Stefan DiMera, portrayed with brooding intensity by the talented Brandon Barish, burst onto the Salem scene as a complex anti-hero. He was the long-lost son of the notorious Stefano DiMera, but with a twist, he was raised by Vivian Alamain, the scheming diva played to perfection by the legendary Louise Sorrell and later by Linda Dono and Robin Strasser in various stints. Stefan's rival shook the foundations of the DiMera empire, bringing with him a mix of ruthless business acumen, unexpected vulnerabilities, and a passionate romance that captured our hearts. Remember those early days? Stefan was introduced as the CEO of DiMera Enterprises, a position he clawed his way into through sheer determination and a healthy dose of manipulation. But it was his tumultuous relationship with Gabby Hernandez, fiery, independent, and unapologetically ambitious, that truly set the show ablaze. Gabby, played by Camila Banus, started as Stefan's adversary, but their chemistry was undeniable. What began as a hate-fueled rivalry evolved into a steamy, star-crossed love affair. They faced obstacle after obstacle: corporate espionage, family feuds, and even a heart transplant storyline that tied Stefan to the legacy of his brother Jake Lambert, also played by Barish in a clever twin twist. Through it all, Stefan's love for Gabby humanized him, turning a potential villain into a fan favorite. But as soap operas do, happiness was fleeting. Stefan's death and a dramatic shooting, sacrificing himself to save his mother, no less, left us all reeling. Or did it? Fast forward to the more recent episodes, and the plot thickens like a pot of Salem's infamous chowder. As avid viewers will recall, the last time we laid eyes on Stefan was in a scene straight out of a thriller movie. There he was, lifeless, or so it seemed, stuffed unceremoniously into the trunk of a car. The vehicle sped off toward Alamania, Vivian's homeland, where she presumably handled the burial arrangements, far from prying eyes. No funeral in Salem, no body to mourn, just a convenient disappearance that screamed plot device to anyone who's watched soaps for more than a season. Months passed and Stefan faded into the background, much to the chagrin of fans who felt his storyline was abruptly shelved. Enter Peter, a vocal critic in the fan community and perhaps a nod to the broader audience's frustration, who has lambasted the show's writers for ignoring Stefan's arc. "How can you just forget about a character like that?" Peter ranted in a recent online forum post. "It's like they threw him away and hoped we'd move on." And he's not wrong. Silence around Stefan has been deafening, leaving a void in the narrative that's begging to be filled. Now, let's zero in on the catalyst that's reignited this fire: Rafe Hernandez's phone call to Vivian. Rafe, the steadfast detective played by Galen Gearing, has always been Salem's moral compass, albeit one that's been bent and twisted by the town's endless scandals. In a recent episode, Rafe, the diligent investigator, picked up the phone to probe Vivian about Stefan's whereabouts. The conversation was terse, loaded with subtext, and dripping with Vivian's signature sarcasm. "Stefan died several months ago," she declared with a chilling finality, her voice presumably laced with the Alamain flair for dramatics. But was there a hesitation? A flicker of evasion in her tone? As fans, we've learned to read between the lines, and this confirmation felt too rehearsed. After all, Vivian is no stranger to deception. Her entire character is built on layers of lies, manipulations, and over-the-top schemes that would make Machiavelli blush. Vivian Alamain is, without a doubt, one of the most iconic villains in soap history. Her return to Salem time and again is like a phoenix rising from the ashes, dramatic, fiery, and impossible to ignore. Portrayed with wicked glee, Vivian has buried people alive. Hello, Carly Manning, fake deaths, and orchestrated corporate takeovers that rival any Wall Street thriller. Her obsession with her son Stefan borders on the pathological. She's not just protective, she's possessive to a fault. And let's not forget her seething hatred for Gabby Hernandez. From the moment Gabby entered Stefan's life, Vivian saw her as a threat, a low-class interloper who dared to steal her boy's heart. That woman is poison, Vivian has snarled in past episodes, her eyes flashing with maternal fury. Gabby, with her street-smart grit and unyielding ambition, represents everything Vivian despises Simeone who climbs the social ladder, without the proper pedigree. So why would Vivian confirm Stefan's death so readily? Our team at Days Drama Digest has been poring over the episode's fan theories and subtle hints dropped by the show's producers. And here's our bold speculation: Stefan isn't dead at all. Vivian is lying through her perfectly manicured teeth, and she's doing it for one reason: to keep Stefan away from Gabby forever. Picture this: in the shadowy corners of Alamania, Stefan lies in a secret clinic, perhaps in a medically induced coma or recovering from injuries that were never as fatal as they seemed. Vivian, ever the mastermind, orchestrated the whole death to whisk him away, far from Gabby's influence. My son deserves better than that scheming harlot, she might whisper to herself as she plots his isolation. It's a classic soap trope with fake death to reset the board, but executed with Vivian's unique brand of villainy. Let's expand on this theory with some dramatic flair, shall we? Imagine the scene in Alamania, a grand, gothic estate shrouded in mist, where Vivian paces the halls like a queen in exile. Servants whisper in hushed tones as she tends to Stefan's bedside, administering mysterious elixirs that keep him under her control. "You'll thank me one day, my darling," she coos, brushing a lock of hair from his forehead. Meanwhile, back in Salem, Gabby is left heartbroken, throwing herself into her business empire or perhaps a rebound romance that's doomed from the start. The tension builds as clues trickle in: a mysterious package from Alamania, a cryptic phone call with heavy breathing on the line, or even a doppelganger sighting that turns out to be a red herring. Rafe, sensing something off in Vivian's voice, digs deeper, enlisting help from allies like Stefan DiMera or even EJ, who has his own axes to grind with the Alamain clan. But why go to such lengths? Vivian's refusal to let Stefan be with Gabby isn't just petty jealousy. It's rooted in her twisted worldview. Gabby, after all, has a history of her own schemes. Remember Gabby Chick's rise from the ashes, or her revenge plots against the DiMeras? Vivian sees her as a mirror of herself, but without the refinement. Like a track's like, "But I won't let it destroy you," Vivian might justify to an unconscious Stefan. This lie about his death serves multiple purposes. It protects her son from what she perceives as a toxic relationship, solidifies her control over the Alamain fortunes, and perhaps even sets the stage for a grand reveal where Stefan returns, amnesia-stricken or brainwashed, ready to reclaim his throne without Gabby's interference. Of course, this speculation isn't without its counterpoints. Skeptics might argue that Stefan's death was genuine, a narrative choice to pivot the show toward new storylines. Peter, our aforementioned critic, has pointed out the months of neglect, suggesting the writers simply moved on. "They've got too many characters juggling too many plots," he complains. Stefan was collateral damage and Vivian's confirmation? Maybe it's just straightforward grief from a mother who's lost her only child. But come on, folks, this is Days of Our Lives. When has anything ever been straightforward? Resurrections are practically a weekly occurrence. Think back to the likes of Stefano DiMera, who died more times than we can count, only to return with a vengeance. Or EJ DiMera, shot and presumed dead, only to pop up alive and scheming. Stefan fits right into that mold of DiMera through and through, with the resilience of a cat with 9 lives. To add more layers to our discussion, let's consider the ripple effects if Stefan is indeed alive. Gabby's world would shatter and reform in an instant. She's already endured so much: the loss of her daughter Ariana's stability, betrayals from friends and foes alike, and now this lingering grief over Stefan. A return could spark a love triangle of epic proportions, perhaps involving Jake, if the writers decide to blur the lines between the twins again. Or imagine Stefan coming back changed, hardened by his ordeal, ready to wage war on those who abandon him. Vivian's lie would be exposed in a courtroom showdown, or a family confrontation at the DiMera mansion with accusations flying like daggers. "You stole my life," Stefan might roar, his eyes blazing with betrayal. Vivian, cornered but unrepentant, would deliver a monologue for the ages: "Everything I did for you. That woman would have ruined you." Rafe's investigation could uncover deeper Alamain secrets, perhaps ties to international intrigue, or hidden fortunes that draw in characters like Kristen DiMera or even the Hortons. For a crossover family feud, the drama could escalate with kidnappings, forged documents, and midnight escapes, keeping us on the edge of our seats for weeks. Fans have been clamoring for more DiMera family focus, and this storyline could deliver in spades. Online forums are buzzing with theories. Some predict a holiday miracle return, timed for sweeps week. Others speculate about body swaps or clone she. It's a soap, anything's possible. At Days Drama Digest, we've spent countless hours analyzing every frame, every line of dialogue, and every fan tweet to build this case. We've rewatched the trunk scene a dozen times, noting the ambiguous lighting that could hide a faint breath or a subtle twitch. Vivian's phone call with Rafe? Her voice cracked just a hair, or was that our imagination? Peter's criticism resonates because it highlights a pattern. Shows like Days thrive on recycling beloved characters, and ignoring Stefan feels like a missed opportunity. Our speculation isn't just wishful thinking. It's grounded in the show's history of dramatic reversals. Vivian's absolute refusal to let Stefan be with Gabby is the linchpin. She's lied about bigger things, faking her own death, burying rivals Alavesa. Why not this? It's her ultimate power play, a mother's desperate bid to control her son's destiny. But enough from us. What do you think? Is Vivian pulling the wool over our eyes, or is Stefan truly 6 feet under? Could this be the setup for one of the most explosive returns in Days history? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, share your own theories, and let's keep the conversation going. Who knows, maybe the writers are reading, and our collective speculation could influence the next big twist. Stay tuned to Days Drama Digest for more updates, recaps, and exclusive insights. Until next time, keep the drama alive, Salem style.